Yeah. Oh. Technical difficulties. Our favourite thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meticulous Talks. You know what? I don't keep track of the exact episode numbers. That's Kirst things. And unfortunately, Kirst can't make it today, as his internet is still getting set up at a new place. So I'm solving problems.
And I'm Hifrog.
And we're going to be doing spoilers today, as it's spoiler season. And there's quite a lot, and these usually take a long time, so I think we should just get started. There's nothing else to talk about, is there?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. So,
Cool.
Let's start with Scalo.
Mischievous grin. Already not liking it. It's a 3 for 2.
Yeah, it's like gives you premiere vibes. But
But then again,
that's
you're
the
basically
180 you
paying
would spend.
3 for it and a troublemaker, right?
Yeah. And it's purple entry as well. I think that's why it has higher cost and power.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have any requirement. All other cards that put troublemakers into play, they have some sort of requirement.
Yeah. I wonder if this is just like a splashable card for some decks. You just put it in as a sort of, haha, I need it to come into play face up, but I don't play purple.
Maybe farm decks?
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for control decks, it can be quite useful as well, like getting mimics right away into play face up. That can be nice.
Although saving the action tokens for this means that you may as well have played the mimics for 1 on turn 1.
Yeah, but then you have to wait 1 turn for them to uncover.
But I mean, if you're waiting a turn to get the action tokens for him, if you do it on turn 1 rather than playing this guy on turn 2, is what I mean.
Yeah. And he also dragon, which is quite important in this set. Because as we'll see later, I think dragons have like the troublemaker thing. We have some other dragons that interact with troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's later, that's not now.
Yeah.
Okay, next card?
Yeah. Thunderlane, meals to go. An entry 2 for 2 with a new keyword. Yeah, it is agile. I was making sure I'm not going to read it wrong. It's like agile. It's not actually this weird word I've never heard before. Because, I mean, I didn't know what meticulous was. I'd never heard anyone say it before it was in the card game.
I think
the only place it's a genuinely useful word in my vocabulary. Meticulous is a really useful word.
Yeah. The only time I heard meticulous outside of the game is in Be Prepared song. The Scar sings it. Meticulous planning.
But yes, so agile is you can use the move action to move this card as an immediate action, which is cool. It's kind of a thing we've been having on cards for a while.
Like Commander Hurricane has a similar thing.
Yeah. Although this one's technically worse because all the ones in the past are like activated abilities so that they can, skip showy. Whereas because of the way this one is worded, you'd still have to pay taxes for effects like showy, unfortunately. But I think it's a good thing to keyword, honestly.
And I mean, while it is affected by showy, it is also affected by swift.
Yes, that is nice.
So there's that. And for a yellow entry, your only alternative in core right now is Thorax, and I think this is better than Thorax.
I think it depends on the deck, honestly. Because if you're intending to burn through cards quickly because you're running, I don't know, yellow, pink, because pink draws cards or whatever, the Thorax will inherently end up having more power. But if you're just being, I don't know, aggro, you may as well be like, I can move this at immediate.
Yeah. Okay, next agile card?
Yeah. So far we've just been doing commons, but that aren't that noteworthy.
Yeah. So this one has Swift.
And agile.
Yeah, so you can move her for 1. But I honestly think that 2 power isn't that impactful to move it
I was
for
about to
1.
say, it's like, I don't know why this is rare, because it doesn't feel like that big or splashy or anything like that. It's kind of small. And four requirement to gain Swift when you can get a 2/2 agile for 0 requirement is pretty hefty.
Yeah, but then again, moving for 280 and moving for 1 is also a big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see another Swift Agile today as well.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad card, and if you get it in pre-release and you're in blue, you're definitely running a card like this.
Oh, in Limited, I think this card is great, as well as Thunderlane.
Especially if you can put anything on it. Any accessory just to like make it turn into 4 or 5 power, it just gets out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than being a limited bomb, it's kind of, I'm not expecting to see it in constructed or anything.
I still feel it can see some light, but yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical. Okay, next.
Gallus and Smolder. 2 colors, yay! And it's the kids. Oh, I don't know, what are they referred to as now?
I refer to them as students. The
Students.
Student 6.
Ah, fair enough. I just call them the Kid 6. But then again, like, I used to call the CMC the kids, so it doesn't really work. Anyway, that's aside. So, Agile, and when you confront this card's problem, you may exhaust an opposing character here. This actually feels pretty strong.
Maybe for face-offs, but other than that, not really. Like, all it really does is remove some characters from... Oh, I think I lost you for a moment.
Hello, sorry about
Hello.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like one of the things I always saw with Blue Orange is that while it could confront problems quite easily, like sort of when it had a sort of heyday in just sort of set 2 constructed, it was pretty bad at winning face-offs if your opponent was running like any other color combination, because you could usually deal with what they're doing and just get higher numbers while they're just focusing on hitting just confront requirements. So something like this means you can take a heavy hitter out preemptively to help you win face-offs, which I think is actually kind of useful, especially as it's with Trading Traditions entry.
Oh yeah, like all 1/1 Rex are great with Trading Traditions. But then again, like to exhaust more than one friend, you have to move it for 280, which is quite a lot for just an exhaust. And like, I feel like Agile is very expensive without Swift. Like 280 is not a lot of it. I mean, it's a lot of AT for like.
Don't forget that Agile is made a lot better by calling the Dream Cavalry.
Yeah, true.
He's all got Swift now.
Yeah, maybe that card will see much more play with Agile now, because
as it does synergize pretty strongly.
Yeah. Also, maybe like if we get some accessory protection or something, then Agile becomes really strong because you can just attach things to friends.
Or if we get an Agile friend with inherent protection of self.
Mm-hmm.
Because hey, your stick's gone, but hopefully that accessory on your Agile friend won't be.
Indeed. Okay, next one.
Yeah.
This one is Control Agile.
Yes. So when you move this card, you may pay 1 to move an opposing character.
So this is kinda like Spike from Sequestria, but you can move it at immediate speed, but with taxes. It's Spike with taxes.
Yeah. It also, Spike had Traveler, which is
Yeah.
which is some pretty just sweet inherent value. It's a tough call on this one, honestly.
I mean, it's free ET to pay for Frozen in Magicite. and like move to power around, which is I guess less important for control deck.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can really play purple yellow in aggro. I guess you can, but I haven't seen that yet.
To be fair, if you're trying to build quote unquote purple yellow aggro, probably more tempo based, I would guess. To make use of what purple can do. Yeah, it does seem. It just sort of seems in a strange spot where there's some mono purple cards that you could justifiably argue are probably more efficient at doing what it does, but then it won't have agile because yellow's kind of what gives it agile. And
Yeah, as far as I know, we'll see agile only in blue and yellow, no other colors.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this card could see play. But I still think Spike is a little bit better, even though this gives you immediate.
Yeah.
Okay, next card.
Yeah. Go on.
The best card. Trixie Hat Trick, Harmony Unicorn. Then this or another one of your unicorn friends enters play, pay one less for your next event this turn to a minimum of 1.
You see, when I first read this, I was like, and then I read it again, and it said when this or another, and I was like, oh wait, this is fine.
Yeah, it's actually exactly the same for me, like, because if you play an event that the same turn, she's basically free.
Yeah, like that's what makes it good. Suddenly, it's like, man, I have this 2-cost event, Trixie event, woo! And then suddenly, like, she's paid for herself. All you did was take a -1 to cards in hand, but considering the inherent pseudo action token gain, quote unquote, you can get from it, it's like fine. Also, is this the first harmony we
Yes.
spoke about in this one?
Yeah, it's
So
the first
harmony
revealed.
So harmony, interesting keyword. You'll see it sort of expanded as we go through spoilers, but the basic gist of it is that if you have the same type, get good stuff.
Yeah. The actual words are meaningless like chaos, but they just signify that this text has some synergy with that tribe.
And it feels a bit like a rework of teamwork, or at least the concept of teamwork, back from Crystal Games, where it's just a keyword designed to encourage playing specific friend types. What is it? Traits? Is it called?
Yeah,
in this
it's
game?
called traits.
Traits.
So yeah. Personally, I think like Trixie is not really for control because you usually play events on opponent's turn in control, and that's when you don't really get to play many unicorns. But in aggro, purple aggro exists, and I think it can be pretty good with Trixie. And if you consider other Trixie cards, which also give you like power for playing events and other things.
And like you've got to think about how many 1-cost unicorns there probably is in the game at this point, or at least in core, that still also are good. Like the what is it? When the nightmare, not the Nightmare Before Christmas. What am I saying? The Christmas Carol episode, the 1-for-1. I forget their actual name.
Oh. I don't remember that one.
It's a 1-for-1 with experienced, and when it enters, you move a thing.
Oh, it's Snowfall Frost.
That's it, Snowfall Frost. Like, that card with the Trixie seems pretty hilarious in some situations where you're like, cool, Snowfall, move a thing, play an event, move things. And it's just like this sort of chain that you can do. I'm also worried about the idea of someone having more than one Trixie out, and the kind of being like, yeah, I'll just play this 1-cost thing and a 3-cost event for one. And sort of just stacking this effect on top of one another, and how sort of out of control it could get.
And then to play some deep in the pools. Yeah, and when you have one Trixie and play another one, you get double reduction right away.
Yeah,
because they both trigger.
Heck, Trixie could easily make Simulo Duplexis cost 1. And And that seems pretty strong, honestly, just to be able to go, cool, I'm going to get 2 confronts on these problems and cause the double face-off and stuff. Seems pretty nice.
Yeah, like, purple aggro might actually be a thing. Like, it is a thing, but it's not as popular.
It might go back to being tier 1, so to speak.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Yeah, I really like this card. It also is a really good card to start off showing Harmony, honestly.
I agree. And it's a Trixie. And I'm a little bit biased.
You like a Trixie card? I'm so surprised.
Well, I got to reveal it as well, so like...
You have to love it. I'm also surprised it's a common, honestly.
We have seen commons with a similar effect. Like, in Sequester there was Vinyl. When you move a character, play 1 less for the next round to a minimum 1. So that was
but that thing costs 3.
Well, yeah.
It just feels at least like an uncommon to my head. But I guess the logic is if you draft like 5 of these, you're not drafting events.
Yeah, draft has small amount of events, like in general. You don't usually get many events in limited.
It's sad. Limited is like my favorite way of playing card games.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next card?
Yeah.
This is Bugle's card.
I wonder why.
So does this look like a rare to you?
Yes.
Because it reminds me of one particular rare.
Your other characters here have +1 power. Is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the day when Owl was like too strong. and now you've got a 2 for 2 Owl. And it's a flipping old retrain of old Cloud Chaser at the same time.
Yeah. It's funny on the art there's actually an actually old Cloud Chaser.
Yeah. I think people would have pulled their hair out if this was made, I don't know, in a set like Crystal Games or Absolute Discord, because it would have been completely ridiculous.
Then again, like, we have a lot more cards now.
We have a lot more cards now. I still think this is very strong, though.
I mean, if we're talking about like putting new cards into old sets, then let's put Stick there. See what happens.
Oh.
So yeah, I think the great upgrade from like the Premier Cloud Chaser is that they exhaust as immediate.
Yeah.
So you can play
because Hasty exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to play this mullet for 2 instead of 3.
Or playing Rutherford for 1. That's probably going to be a thing. Just punch. Get frightened.
Yeah, and now I have a 3 power friend. Well, if you play Rutherford there.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems like a very sort of card designed to be like, hey, play blue, yellow aggro. Just do it.
Good thing it's a rare, because in limited this would be quite strong.
Yeah. It is very strong. And it's once again got entry itis when you have Trading Traditions, which honestly pushes this card from just being really good to just crazy. If you can turn 1, just drop this and go, hello.
Yeah, it's like dropping Factory Jack. But
yeah.
The problem is that blue-yellow, at least right now, doesn't run Trading Traditions, and runs Concerning Cutie Mark, because it needs to flip Scootaloo early. But if you don't run Scootaloo, then you might run Trading Traditions.
To be fair, I think blue-yellow Bluna would definitely have some sort of chance. If you wanted to use this.
Yeah,
it says characters. So. The fact it says characters is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, blue, yellow, blue no makes sense. And we've seen actually blue, yellow, blue no at the Continentals this time. So I think this card that definitely goes right into that deck.
Yeah.
Okay. Next card. This is actually Silver Stream. I think the mask was posted earlier in Discord for some reason.
So Princess Mask.
Now, Princess Mask is going to be next, I think. Right now we have Silver Stream.
Cool.
So, Silver Serum. She has an interesting flip condition where it's not a trigger but an ability. While you have at least two more characters at the problem where she's at, and that includes opponent's characters. You can flip her, but you can not flip her.
But why wouldn't you?
I'm not sure. Like, I think there is a situation where you don't want to flip her, and I will come back to this after I after I read this boosted side. So on the boosted side, she has eccentric too, and when you confront this card's problem, you may exhaust it to draw a card. So imagine this: you move her to opponent's concerning cutie mark, and opponent has Scuttle and plays a loyal pony to move and confront that problem. Now you can flip her to stop them from doing that, because she has eccentric too. But sometimes you don't want to flip her when you don't want to confront your own problems, so your opponent doesn't do a single face-off. Does that make sense?
I guess so, yeah. Just tweaking specific face-off bits.
Yeah. But
there's also the traditional situation of your opponent's running Chrissy.
Yeah, that too.
No. No.
So yeah, many people call it like the new core vinyl. I don't quite see it like that because you have to confront.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're not drawing a card every turn quite the way you were with vinyl.
Yeah, like you have to confront every turn to draw a card every turn.
Combined with the fact that it has to be at a problem to flip.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to pay the 2 to get it there. Because the reason why vinyl's so good is you'd go, draw cards, flipped. There we go.
Yeah, that also costs you 2, but you get the cards.
Yeah, like you go literally just +2 on card advantage and flip your main, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Eccentric is quite nice, but we've seen eccentric on mains before.
And it's not really the part you're focusing on, it's just kind of there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it can be pretty good for aggro, not for control. I don't think like this is a control main at all. But maybe it is, but I'm not quite convinced on that. But for aggro, if you like move her there, I'm not sure. I'm very actually unsure about this main.
Yeah, I'm still sort of on the fence. I'm kind of like, it feels good because it's quite obviously trying to reference vinyl, which is a very good card, but the tweaks they made have just like sort of hit it fairly hard. And I'm not sure how, like, is it better than just being able to pay 2 and make the shells? It's a tough one.
Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe after the set's release, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. I'd like to be. I do like the card. I don't think it's garbage. I'm not like, ugh, why do they print it? It's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if it's better than what we already have. So next card?
Next card. This time it's Princess Mask.
Okay. So, it's honestly terrifying card.
Yeah, if you look at the jaw, you'll be even more terrified. Because the Phyllis face doesn't make sense if you try to look at it. And if you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, it is. Because the way the mouth is.
Yeah. Like
It's like she's got a Peppa Pig face. Just she's got 4 eyes, 2 on each side. Obviously. Because the mouth's side on somehow.
Yeah. So this is.
But anyway, as a card, it's fine. It's a variation of what is it? 10 Carat Hat was the old 1
card.
+2 power. But this has Harmony Changeling. If it's a Changeling, it has +4 power. And so depending on like how often you're going to be getting the +4, this card is either alright or good.
But we don't have that many changelings yet.
I'm hoping this set makes it like really good. But so far, like I think its best is good because we have a few changelings, but I can't think of any that I'm like, wow, I really want to put Princess Mask on this, or wow, I've got all these cards that means I can run Mask and it's a 1 for +4 power all the time.
Yeah, most of the changelings are like there's changeling citizens, but the problem is that the opponent is likely to remove them because they just give you a lot of power.
Yeah, it's already got a massive target on its head.
Yeah, so you probably don't want to put Mask on them, but the rest of the changelings are just friends like any other friends.
Oh, hey, I'll put it on my Kevin.
I mean, 6 power friend is still nice for 380.
Yeah.
Or you can do some shenanigans with Chrysalis, I don't know. Are they the Xerox?
Yeah, it's a tough one with Princess Mask. I'm hoping this set makes this card good. Because for now, it's just kind of like in this awkward spot where it's like, I guess you can do some cool things with it, but none of it's like, oh my gosh, yes.
But, I mean, then again, it's just a power boost. Not much you can do with that.
Yeah. But yeah, 1 action token for a +4 boost is not bad. Don't get me wrong, but it just needs changelings that you actually want to put it on.
Yeah, it's 1 power for 480. It's if that's a changeling, and that's some. It's better than Slender Pony. Okay, next.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite. Well, after
PTSD, guys. It's got guidance counselor in its name. I'm honestly surprised they didn't give this card 3 requirement. Just as a reference.
I mean, that's the point of it, of not having 3 requirement. If it was 3 requirement, it would be much worse.
So bad. Yeah, it's simple, but just good. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, while it is simple, it has a lot of things different from other ET gens we have. It's single colored. You can play it with unflipped main, which is quite important if you're like running Ambassador of Friendship or Trixie. Its exhaust is immediate, so it dodges breakdown and you can confront with it because of free power. And free power is really nice, especially if you have unflipped main. Like, there's been one time that I had to run all team organizer in Silver. To be fair, it was in Silver Spanner, but still, in place of cover to cover, because I really needed purple wreck, like purple power on the board.
It's. I think one of the things you can also say with this though is, Castle of Friendship exists.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, so do you want the 3 power, but it's easier to remove because a lot of people obviously pack friend removal? Or do you want it to be a resource, which can also get removed because stick exists?
Yeah, but then they don't remove your stick.
Ooh. Decoys.
Also, I think important to mention that it's a common, so
Everyone can get this.
yeah. No, I was actually meaning that in terms of limited.
Oh, yeah. There's always
Because
weird AT generators at common and limited. But this one's like just normal, I guess. Is this the first
Yeah.
time we've had a normal one at common? That hasn't had
yeah,
like a weird condition?
yeah, this is the first time. Like, factory jack is uncommon. Purple paper twice fixed, so you can't even get it there.
And then like other times we've had like when your opponent confronts this problem, gain an action token or whatever type friends.
Yeah, there's Sunburst, which is a rare, and Castle of Friendship is also rare. So
Rare.
this one is the first common. In Odyssey's block and after, so I'm not sure what's there in Premiere.
There's an awkward Twilight in Premiere that was like a 3 foot. Oh, I can't even remember what it cost. It had some requirement, and it's like exhaust it to gain an action token, but if you don't spend that action token by the end of turn, it goes away. Was that uncommon or common? It's been so long, I don't even know.
I think it's a common, and that's the one I talked about. Like, her subtitle is All Team Organizer.
Yeah. But other than that, you didn't really get cards that gen action tokens anyway. That often.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next card?
Yeah, next card.
It's Cursed card.
Distracted lead actress.
Opposing characters here with the highest power among opposing characters can't contribute their power to confronting this problem. That's a lot of opposing word in there.
I love that the wording means if they're equal, none of them get to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like really strong.
Yeah, I also like it doesn't say here, so it's across the board.
Yeah. It does say here. Opposing characters here with the highest power among opposing characters.
Yeah, yeah, but among opposing characters across the board. That's the important part. It doesn't say among opposing characters here. So if they have
the initial wording of opposing characters here means it's all here.
No, it means that opposing characters here can confront this problem. And yeah. Which is actually, I guess, makes it worse if it did like, for instance, if they have a sticked main, then unless they have a 6 power friend here, they can confront this problem with pretty much anything. But yeah, Curse talk about a lot of interesting things with this card, like interactions with Octavia and some other things. It's also quite funny with Muffin Mare, but I don't think anyone would run Muffin Mare in orange yellow.
No, I don't think so. Unless you're splashing extra colors to do something crazy and wacky.
Yeah. Yeah, but effect is quite unique. I like to see cards like this that do some interesting things never seen before.
Yeah. It also is a nice sort of kick to stick, so to speak, because you can't just move your main to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh wait, no, it just doesn't work.
And Thunderlane and Orange in general. Orange likes high power friends.
Why do I have to move 2 things here? Ugh.
Okay, next card.
Scootaloo. Aerobatics fan. Did I say it right? Aerobatics?
Yeah. I think so.
But yeah, so 2 for 2 with Harmony Pegasus. When another one of your Pegasus friends enters play, you may move this card.
When this card enters play as well, so you can play it and move it.
I'll play it to home to move it to this problem. Why?
I don't know why, but you can do it. But I guess to get some triggers, but that's quite rare.
There'll be a time where the fact that it can move itself on entry will be relevant. Just don't ask me what that random scenario is, because...
Now I can come up with one right now. For instance, there's that problem where you move a character there, you can pay one more to move someone else there. There you go.
Well, yeah. Does anyone run that card?
I don't think so.
Well, maybe they will with this tiny interaction, making it a little more useful.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Yeah, like, genuinely solid card.
Yeah, it's like Bluno and a friend, and you can move it anywhere.
Yeah.
But only for Pegasi. But,
And it's also one of the things, it's enters play, rather with Bluna it's play A. So this also triggers off tokens.
Yeah.
Which is cute.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have anything that means when you move things you gain some kind of advantage, Spitfire with this is just like, I get all the moves.
Yeah, I get to move this 3 times. And...
Oh, because Spitfire herself.
Oh yeah, Spitfire is also Pegasi. And yeah, I was just about to say, like, many of the blue aggro decks run a lot of Pegasi already. Like Hot Wings has like 50% of the friends there are Pegasi.
So it just seems like a really solid card.
Yeah, so like being restricted to Pegasi is not that big of a restriction, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Apple Bloom. The Harmony Earth Pony Apple Bloom. Just like Scootaloo.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like about this one already is the fact that it's a 1 for 2. It's good. But I also like its ability. When this or another one of your Earth Pony friends enters play, an opposing friend loses and can't have abilities until the end of turn. So the first question I asked when I read this is, how many Earth Ponies have Hasty? And who are they? Have Hasty, so you can play them at immediate.
There's Pinky, but I think she has Hasty only in Sea Pony form, so no, she's not an Earth Pony. Let me actually check, I'm not sure. I don't think there are any.
Well, that makes this card a lot worse than it could have been.
There's always Portal.
Yeah.
Oh, Soprano is one. She's not Hasty, but she's an Earth Pony, which you can play at any time. Wait, no, she's a unicorn. What am I saying?
I was going to say, Rarity is an Earth Horse. Oof. She'd lose a job.
So Pinkie Pie Philly second makes everything hasty, and she's also an Earth Pony. But I don't think anyone would run that.
That's a bit too hefty.
Yeah, for Apple Bloom at least. Yeah, I don't think we have... Oh, there's Filthy Rich. Hasty with Diligent 1, 3 for 3. And that's it.
Wow.
And one is pink, the other one is blue. Which makes sense. That's where all hasty things are. But if you want to remove abilities of things immediately, there's always Limestone. Like, the difference here is you can use Limestone only once, and this one is as many as Earth Ponies as you have.
Yeah. Because the first thing I thought when I saw this was like, okay, so can I efficiently be playing Earth Ponies at the start of my opponent's turn to just be like, yeah, no, you're not using this turn.
Maybe there's a way to put some Earth Pony tokens? I'm not sure, but But that's in pink. So if
Yeah.
you're going for Earth Pony tokens, you have to play pink as well.
I feel like this card's gonna get better with time. If you get what I mean, because it's like it's never going to be a bad trigger, or at least I don't feel like it's ever going to be terrible.
I don't know, like, can you think of any friend that you want to disable, like, the abilities until the end of your turn? Because I don't think you'll get this trigger a lot during your opponent's turn. Like, sure, there's things like Sunburst, which make you lose action tokens when you confront problems, but I don't think those situations are very common.
Well, I was more thinking of the idea that we'll gain hasty Earth ponies that just sort of help this card work, or ways of making Earth ponies at good times, just to sort of make it so that this trigger is just good. Because right now it's kind of okay. I mean, it's a 1 for 2. Can't complain about that, and it's not the worst trigger. But I feel like as time goes on, this card could get a lot better and better to the point where it's like just really annoying to play against if there's the enablers for it.
Yeah, I suppose so. So, okay, I came up with the thing. So you have Ravers, which put Earth Pony tokens at every problem into play whenever you play a non-token friend. When a non-token friend enters play. So you have Ravers, you play something hasty, and there you go, she triggers 3 times.
Ouch.
I mean 2 times. But, or as many times as many problems you have.
I have 50 dilemmas, so you can never have an ability again. Yeah, I feel like it could end up being really strong, and it's the kind of card that people should just sit on and not just throw away into bulk common, because it could do some crazy stuff in the future. It just sort of needs the rest of the card pool to come with it.
I suppose so, yeah. I think it's really interesting to see something that can repeatedly remove abilities, because we haven't seen something like that yet, I think. Like, even Limestone, she disables only one friend, but this thing can disable as many friends as you want, as long as you can support that. Okay, next card.
Yeah.
Gilda.
Icebreaker. You pay 1 less to play your first Griffin friend each turn. This is such a sweet effect.
Yeah, it doesn't have to a minimum of 1.
Yeah.
But
I think this has a lot of potential if there is just enough Griffins to make it work.
yeah, I don't think we have seen any other Griffins yet. Like from this set.
If we don't get any others, I will be very surprised.
No, I'm fairly sure we'll get more Griffins in the set. We haven't just seen them yet. And there aren't that many Griffins before. Like, there's Gilda that frightens things and starts to face off. I think some people know about that card from Tantabus.
I wonder why.
There's also Gabby, but I don't think there are that many Griffins.
There isn't a huge amount. But I feel like this set might, or the next few sets also, might just help it do its job.
Yeah.
To be fair, most of these Harmony things, it's like, okay, these can theoretically only get better as time goes on, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, we did get 2 Griffins. One of them we actually spoiled. I forgot about her. The Texas girl.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, the fact that it was a Griffin went over my head.
Yeah. There's also Gauss's Smolder with the Agile, but they're kind of off color.
Pink, orange, blue. My favorite 3-color combination.
Yeah. I like that you get this effect all the time. I mean, only once per turn, but still, it's there. And you can. She's not unique. You can have 3 of her, or as many of her if you want, if you run deep in the pool.
It's a shame that if you play her, you don't get the reduction the turn she comes in, because you've definitely played at least one Griffin this turn.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Otherwise, it seems good, and I just think it needs time for all the Griffins to come out for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next.
2 for 2 Dragon.
Yeah.
Your troublemakers here have +1 power for each of your dragon characters. Full stop, which is neat.
Yeah, more troublemaker synergy with dragons.
Yeah. It was kind of like, when I first read it, I read, your troublemakers here have +1 power for each of your dragons characters here. Just because, like, I already read the word here. But on the reread, where you're like, oh, I can just put just this guy and have a bunch of dragons, and I still get a big buff.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Or maybe you can have a dragon main. Because it says characters. I actually really like that many of the cards say characters and not friends. Because that means you can pretty much guarantee that you'll have at least one if you run the main with that trait.
Yeah.
And Ember is a really good dragon which also helps you protect your troublemakers. The ultra rare from Defenders.
Yes. The one that's, what is the word again? You always have +3 in face-offs?
No, she says she's at the start of the face-off. This card is involved in the face-off.
That's it, yes. So she may as well say you always get +3 power.
Yeah, but if you put a hat on her.
Shame she's not. Shame she's not a changeling. Could put a princess mask on.
We need that magic cards that let you rewrite things. Like, I know there's a magic card that says you can rewrite the tribes or something like that.
So there's a recent one that came out that's just like everything, literally everything in your every zone that you have is now X creature type. And I'm just like, that is so weird.
We have Trenderhoof, which says everything has unique, which broke a lot of things already. So I don't think we need that in LPCG.
Well, if you just added the trait, it wouldn't do too much to break the game. But
I think
if you,
it would.
I don't know, if you just say every friend in play and card in your hand is now also a changeling.
Yeah,
because
but
it would obviously be changelings because they're the ones who swap out things.
But that's what Trenderhoof does. It gives everyone unique, and that raises
Yeah, but
some
unique
problems.
is a very complicated ruling. Just having another trait isn't as complicated.
Oh, it's not as complicated, but some things make break. Like, I assure you, there will be some combos if you introduce a color like that.
I don't know. Just make it so the initial investment is high, so to actually make the combo go off, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, like, as a friend enters play, pay 5 to give him a new trait.
Who knows? Anyway, we got on an aside. It's a neat dragon.
Yeah.
As we get more dragons that help with troublemakers, it'll get neater.
We actually have quite a bit of dragons that help with troublemakers. First there's Amber that I mentioned. Second there's Spike Traveler, which is great. Third there's Twilight and Spike Ultimate Organizers. So, we already, Spike really helps here.
Yeah.
By being a dragon.
Oh. I also feel like it's going to get better just as we get more cards from the set itself, though, was what I was saying. Because we'll probably get at least 2 or 3, playable good dragons that do troublemaker stuff to just sort of help him out.
Yeah, like for that 3 for 2 entry dragon might actually work well here because he's also a dragon.
Yeah. So you turn 2 play him, drop a troublemaker, turn 3 drop this guy. I don't know, and maybe a spike. There's lots of 1-cost spikes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next card.
But you see, if you're running
Oh.
this deck, if you're running the dragon deck, Hithrug, you don't get to run the tricksy deck.
That's the opportunity cost. That's why I don't run dragon decks.
0 to 10 bad card. Anyway, 2 Sweetie Belle, the Harmony Unicorn for white. This big cycle they spoiled.
Yeah, this is the best art we've seen after Trixie in the set so far, in my opinion.
Tempting.
Like, look at this art, it's so beautiful. I want to have this card right now. Okay, so it's 1-for-1 friend, which is a great thing, I think, because it doesn't require you to invest into it a lot. Main phase, exhaust this card to give one of your unicorn characters +1 power for each event in your discard pile until the end of the turn. So it's an aggro thing, I think.
So is aggro gonna get loads of events in the bin, or?
Just like with tricks, maybe like purple-white aggro?
Yeah, maybe. Purple, white unicorn, speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does seem pretty strong, and what I like about it as well, just on the side, is that in limited, this is like the epitome of a war of attrition card. We're like, she gives +3 now. And you start there like doing all those little bits of math, like, wait, if I play this event and Sweetie Belle gives an extra 1, and
Yeah.
like it's just sort of a nice thing. I think it's a strong effect, and if we ever have self-mill effects,
We do have a couple.
Well, that are like really big and that feel worth using justifiably without it just being like, oh hey, if I didn't hit the cards I won.
There's Sweetie Belle most traditional, but you usually use her on your opponent's deck, but you can use it on yourself. And if you want to keep some card on top of your deck, you can do that as well with her. So maybe there is some potential there. But I think it's mostly will be used with like you don't self-mill yourself, you just play events. But to be fair, white doesn't have that many like aggro events. It's mostly resources.
What if you just splash it with pink and just draw infinite cards? I play this event to draw cards, and I play this event to draw cards, and I play this event to draw cards, and I play this event to draw cards. Cool, Sweet Belle gives this thing +4, +5, +12.
Yeah, that's actually a nice idea. The only thing that's like pink is also Earth Ponies. Because Sweetie Belle only gives power to other unicorns.
You see, you run Rarity Soprano.
Oh,
and
right.
you target yourself, and you discard an event and draw a card, and I don't know, it's just a silly idea, but it feels like something that could happen. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe you'll see some white-pink aggro. It's funny that we're talking about colors that I usually control in aggro context. Like, I have never actually, no, I'm lying. I have seen pink-white aggro before. But it was using Octavia.
Yeah. That's just spam. Spamity spam.
Mm-hmm.
So, next card?
Yep. Thorax.
So this is the last one. Thorax. Although this one has a separate ability as well. Chaos. When this card is flipped, you may put it into play.
Just like
effects like that have never been bad.
Yeah. I don't mind the free friend.
Yeah. But Harmony Changeling if you would put any number of flipped changeling friends on the bottom of your deck, you may put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom instead.
So he technically draws you cards?
Yeah. He sort of just gives you cards into your hand when you're like, oh man, I wish I drew that. Oh wait, I did.
Yeah, like these changeling citizens. You never like flipping them. They are 0 power and they're your entry.
I'm also wondering when I looked at this card that if in testing they did it that basically he gives changelings his chaos effect, and they were like, wait, no, this is too good. Paddle back, paddle back.
Actually, maybe that's not. I haven't thought about that. That's a good point.
Because it feels like if it did that, you could do some pretty crazy stuff and get some hefty advantage off just, I don't know, any of the old showdown events in Harmony, etc. Although you probably wouldn't ever be able to set it up in that format.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I would love to see a rare that or an ultra rare that does something like that, because that would just be weird and crazy and wacky and would really encourage you to use the tribes. But as this is now, it's fine. And it's the kind of thing that will help you always have cards to play if you're like running changeling aggro, because I'm guessing getting this card into play for free kind of puts you in the mindset of, okay, I just want to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
Get friends out and just go. I also hope just changelings being chaos based is going to be kind of just a thing, because it's cool.
Yeah, but many of the changelings we have aren't chaos based,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So hopefully the new set will give us a bunch that are chaos based.
Perhaps.
So you can be like, flip this, get a chaos effect, put it in hand. Because if you're doing that, then it's actually pretty real strong.
Yeah, it's actually would be really interesting to see a card that gives chaos effects to flipped cards. We have never seen a card like that before.
I wonder how you'd word it though. Your flipped cards gain chaos.
No, it just
Blah,
says
blah, blah.
you flipped cards have chaos blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Chaos when you flip this card gain 1 AT, because that won't break anything. Nah, it's fine. We could use a card like that. But yeah, this is the first changeling we've seen, so maybe we'll see more changelings. I mean, we will see more changelings, so I hope they will help Thorax.
Yeah.
But as of now, it's really hard to say much about him.
Yeah.
Okay, next card.
This
This one is big.
3 colors again. Glad to see it. And I mean, I like this card off its first line of text. The other two are just like special sauce.
I don't know. Third one is quite interesting.
Oh, they're all really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I try and play this card just off the first line of text. Cool, bonk. Everything is big now. Go.
Yeah. It's like having a stick, but on everyone, but with one less power.
Yeah. And then your friends can't be frightened. Cough, including this.
Yep. And it's also really annoying to get rid of her. Yes, she's quite costly, like 5 ET to play her and 2 ET to save her from removal. Because you would usually save her instead of your friends, I believe.
They party of one, and I have to save something. I think I'll save the card that makes literally every other card I play better and helps me play every card in my deck. There we go.
Yeah. And, like, even though she's costly, she's in those 3 colors that all have 80 gens. Yellow-purple has Sunburst, orange-purple has Factory Jack, and purple has a bunch of other stuff.
And orange has stuff like Apple Bloom that reduces cost.
Yeah, that too.
So yeah, if there's a 3-color card that's actually just going to get hard played, it's probably this one. It feels like so far. Because the Luna was like, oh hey, that's just going to get rezzed.
Yeah, because she was in white.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Whereas this,
playing
it's
white.
like, huh.
Why pay 580 for a friend when you can pay 380 for a friend?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really big card with some really interesting abilities. I think it's like other than persistent, we didn't see any of the triggers that relied on that saved friends when they leave play for any reason.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I don't think you will use her ability on anyone else but herself, because if you do, she can just be removed afterwards.
Yeah. Because the simple concept is you never want to have this card be exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
You want it always ready to just be like, hello. Gonna save?
Yeah. So watch out for bailouts.
Yes.
Also, fun thing, there's this interaction in the rules that you can use Xerox on frightened friends, even if they are unique. But this card says it can't be frightened, so that will be complicated. There is a way to get her frightened on the board, but it's not an easy one.
So if you play the Zakora in purple blue,
Yeah, that one.
What is it? It banishes something and then brings it back frightened.
Yeah, that's
Is that
one
what it
of
does?
the ways to do it.
That's like one way of making it be frightened.
The other way is to play Chaos Capital of the World, because that turns over.
Doesn't frighten, it just turns cards over.
Like, if you really want to have 2 Twilights, you can do that. Alright.
So next card?
Our second main. First of the regular, not ultra rare. So I know you don't really like Confront to Flip. I didn't quite like it either. I think we have too many cards with that condition.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, Confront the Flip main. Okay.
Yeah, but the boosted side is really interesting.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You got to think about what zero cost face-off centric cards there are, and obviously the first one that comes to my mind is Heroic Leap. Really simple, just +2 power. Cool, exhaust him and gain point.
Actually, on Reddit, I was replying to someone and made a list of cards that you probably would want to play with Gallus. So one of them would be Storm of Justice. It's not 0 cost, but when you win a face-off by 5 or more power, score 2 points. And with Gallus, it's score 3 points. There's Oh Yeah, which is similar to Storm of Justice, but it frightens a friend and costs 0 if you win by 5. Then there's Always Thunderlane, and a bunch of other things like Prince Rutherford, Belly Flops, whatever immediate you can play. Cracking the case is quite funny. You want to farm that Troublemaker? How about I score a point instead of you?
Pew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's good. I just don't have enough of sort of an archive of every card that this synergizes with to be like, yes, it's going to be amazing, or it's not good enough, or anything like that. So I'll see people who will test this for a while and see what they do with it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty alright. There's a bit of cards you want to play in a face-off. What I really like about Gallus, that you can, the cards I just mentioned, they're for aggro. But there's also a control Gallus. You can play him in a blue-purple control. And actually, the way this card was spoiled, it was in a blue-purple deck. Bugle built a blue-purple deck with Gallus.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was a Troublemaker control, of course, because that makes the most sense.
Well, yeah, that's the best way to start face-offs.
Mm-hmm. Except for Stick.
Oh god, him with stick. Ew. Is that everything?
Yeah. Next card.
Okay.
Do we have to talk much about this?
It's a 3-for-1, 3-for-3 with prepared, and it's got one requirement. Neat. All right, cool. Moving on. It's a fine common. Just there you go. If your main is white and limited, you run it because it's good and it's fine.
Yeah,
Not got much else to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next card.
I forget how you say his name. Pharynx?
Pharynx? Yeah, I think so. I don't remember how they pronounce this in the show.
Yeah. Makes me sad because he's not got chaos.
Yeah, but he's white.
I know. It's just now that the now that thorax has me going. Okay, does it have chaos? Oh. But hey, it's got a cool effect. So it's a 3-for-3 with 3 requirement. Eccentric 2. Not quite sure why that's there, but there you go. But here's the cool bit. When you play this card, gain control of an opposing friend with cost less than or equal to the number of changeling characters you control.
Yep. So, I want to say one thing about this. If you have a changeling main and play this card is also by itself a changeling, and by the time you process that trigger, you'll have 2 changelings. So you'll take at least 2 or less power friend, like Night Glider.
Cost.
Yeah, for free. It's I think it's the cheapest way to get control of friends right now, permanently.
Yes? Permanently. Yes.
So yeah, a really cool card, I think.
And if you can start stealing like massive, what is it, like, I don't know, Captain Jacks with this thing, you are probably laughing maniacally at your opponent.
Mm-hmm. But that's what you always do when you take control of friends, to be fair. It just doesn't happen that often.
I played a pink-white deck that took control of my opponent's stuff all the time.
Well, I would imagine you laughed all the time.
No, it was just another way of removing them. Because that's the
I see.
party of one deck. Taking control of was like in the list of removal because it kind of counted. It's mine now. There you go. You don't have it, so it's removed. But yeah, I think this has a lot of potential. We just need any amount of changelings to back it up in some form.
Mm-hmm. But this is the kind of changeling you would like to draw, instead of putting on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. Yes, you definitely go, it's in my hand now.
And I'm not quite sure. It's the first time we see eccentric on white. And
it does seem kind of random.
yeah. Like,
And I don't mean the keyword. Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, we've seen eccentric on purple in Defenders, but before that it was pink only, so...
Yeah.
I guess...
I mean, the eccentric will be relevant sometimes, and I like the idea that you play this to a problem and steal a friend from the problem you put him at, so that they can like lose up to like 5. They're like, they need to gain an extra like 5 power at the problem or something. But yeah, otherwise the eccentric does kind of feel random, but I'm glad it's there. I'd rather have it than not.
It helps the card, yeah.
It just makes it that bit better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next. Our first event.
It's interesting, but I don't know how good it is. So it's 5 flip, which is nice. Cost 2, 3 requirement. Immediate, one of your characters gets competitive 2 until the end of this turn. And then for each of your Pegasus characters, that character gets an additional competitive 1 until end of turn. My issue is, the floor on this card, so the worst it can be, is so bad.
Yeah, like, there's a Rainbow Connection which costs 1 and so much better than this.
but the ceiling is pretty good. But I don't feel like the best it can be is like, oh sweet, I just pay 2 action tokens to give this thing +9. Which is like, yeah, that's cool, but the fact it costs 2.
Yeah, 2 is quite a lot. Like, how much Pegasi do you need to like feel like paying 2 for that was worth it?
Like, I mean, it'd need to give at least +5 because it is so temporary. At least, and I mean at least.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure about this one. You're right. Like the floor is so low, but the ceiling is so high.
But it's unfortunate that, like, yeah, because if the floor is high and then the ceiling just keeps going, that's when a card is amazing. When the floor is low and the ceiling is high, it's usually too big of a risk to actually run it. And I mean, if you're playing loads of action tokens to make Pegasi, when are you going to have the 2 to also play this? And like, it just brings up so many questions about when you'd actually be able to get this to go off properly.
You could have it in a Gallows deck, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a card that you play during face-off. But the Gallows himself is not a Pegasi.
I know. The shame is that he's not a Burpos.
I think if it costed 1 and gave like competitive 1 instead of 2 as the floor.
You know what? I'd say a card that cost 1 and had just the Harmony Pegasus text line would have actually seen experimentation for a while at least. But as this, I think it's just going to be abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah, the cost is the biggest issue here, I think. Not the effect.
Next
Okay.
card?
Yeah. Problem.
Accident at the pear farm. Immediate, banish a troublemaker from your discard pile to give a troublemaker here +2 power until end of turn. 4 for you, 5 for them, -1.
So, do you think the name suggests that you should play this in farm?
But why would you pump your own troublemaker when you're trying to punch it?
I don't know, but it's it's got orange on it.
Yeah, it's like, it's a weird one, but I mean, I feel like I'll experiment with it because of my weird mono orange sort of mid-rangey thing where I use some troublemakers and it could be relevant sometimes and actually be quite useful. But I don't know if it's gonna be great.
Yeah, like the thing is, usually decks that play even troublemakers, they usually either recycle them and have a lot of them and beat them themselves. Like in a white-purple deck, usually, like in a troublemaker control deck, you play a lot of troublemakers and then you recycle them.
Yeah.
Getting them back from discard, so you don't want to banish them. And this is an orange card, and despite that, it also has quite low confront requirements, so
Yeah.
not so great for control. So like, there's even chaos control. It plays troublemaker and doesn't recycle them. It just wants to start face-offs, and the effect is actually quite nice for chaos control. But then again, the confront requirements are not really for control. They're too low.
No. Like, I'd even say you could run it in farming, because obviously you can do it at immediate on your opponent when they try to beat your epic for it. Say you failed one turn because some reason, whatever. But it's like, you can't really, you never want to risk flipping the 5 without having a troublemaker on it, because that's not a hard confront.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm quite skeptical on this problem. I'm not sure which deck would you run this problem in.
Yeah. I like it, don't get me wrong. I just think it's been designed in a way where it's like, well, it doesn't really fit here, and it doesn't quite fit here, and it doesn't quite fit there, and it's like,
Yeah, where do you put this?
in limited, where sometimes you're like, well, I want to kind of be fast, but I do have like 4 troublemakers, so I might be able to +2 to save me one time. It's kind of all I've got.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit too wonky, unfortunately. Next card.
Yep. And
Let's race.
An orange card with Troublemaker Synergy. Also a dragon.
And it's a dragon. So it's a 4/4, 2 requirement. And honestly, just having competitive 4 is kind of crazy. The thing is 8 power in a face-off.
Yeah. Did we
It has
see
more
competitive
power
4 before?
I don't know. That's honestly a question I don't know the answer to. I don't think so. But don't quote
Yeah,
me
I think
on that
this
one.
is the first one. So this is the highest, as competitive as you can get.
I mean, it makes sense for him.
Yeah. Quite flavorful.
I also like the fact that he's really good at taking troublemakers down because he's 8 power, which is higher than the highest printed power we've ever had.
We've had 8 printed power.
Have we?
In Premier Block, there's a guy that, like, it costs a lot. I think it costs 8 as well. Maybe he's lower power than that, but I think he's 8. And like to play him, like playing him gets cheaper the more Earth ponies you have.
Oh, I thought he was 6. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting that wrong.
Maybe
I thought he was 8 to play. Maybe I remember that there's an 8 to play card, and he's got 6. I think he has 6 power. Because if he was 8 power, he might have actually got experimented with. Because hey, at worst, he's fine on the vanilla test.
You're right.
Question mark.
Looked him up. He's 6.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, this is higher than.
So it's like, oh man, on my own, if we flip even, Garble beats all the troublemakers.
But so does Rescue Party.
Yeah.
So it's not the first one to be good at beating troublemakers for 480.
But I like that he can do both, because he also +4s your troublemakers because of his immediate effect to exhaust him and give a troublemaker competitive 4.
Yeah. The only problem, like, there aren't many troublemaker control orange decks besides Chaos Control. I haven't seen one, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Chaos Control is what this card would be good for. If you want to invest 480 into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can they take the 480 into it? Don't know. Yeah, I like it. I just don't know if it has a deck. It's going to be good and limited though. Every time this thing will help you win face-offs for days.
I mean, Shining Armor with competitive 3 felt quite powerful, and this one
is even more. What is it? 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is uncommon though.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's good. I just don't know if it has a deck. I would say is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see some troublemakers in this set, so we'll see.
All this troublemaker synergy, and there's just like one. But rare. Oh, sweet pre-release! I got all this. Oh wait, yeah, I can't use it. Anyway, next card.
Yep, Star Swirl the Bearded.
Can someone pick up the phone? Because I called it. Cycle of ultra rare friends that are them.
Yep. Pillar of Sorcery. So, at the start of your turn, you may actually, you have to reveal the top 3 cards.
Oh my gosh!
Put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you put a flipped event on the bottom of your deck, you may exhaust this card to put an event into your hand instead. So, like Faithful Student, but only once.
But also, that card choice every turn. Ooh.
Yeah, but the problem is your opponent gets to see it because it's reveal.
I know, but you're still just getting the card, which is
Yeah.
really nice, and you're getting to pick out of the top three. It's not just draw a card. No, it's all right. Pick up three. What's the best one? You can have it.
Yeah, and this is also an extra draw because you're going to draw a card after this.
Yes.
So yeah, quite powerful effect, but to be fair, you have to invest 4 ET as well, and it will probably get removed.
Yeah. It's got a very massive target right on its face.
Yeah, just look at him. Yeah, but we'll see. I'll definitely experiment with him. He looks fun to play.
Seems very interesting. Seems like the kind of thing that could do very good.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Yep.
Agile Swift. And another thing.
And
on a 4 for 4.
power.
Yeah. When you move this card, you may pay 1 to frighten a friend. Seems pretty good. Don't know if the fact that it costs 4 means it's going to miss being inserted into certain decks, but I sure hope it doesn't, because this card is really good. Very strong.
Yeah, I think he also got a big target on his head, to be fair.
Oh, of course he has, but I guess at least with this card, at worst, if you have spare action tokens, you can just be like, frighten the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a Rutherford. Like, if you have 2 ET, you just move him and pay 1 and frighten the thing at immediate speed. But this is a proactive Rutherford.
Yeah.
And moving for power for 1 ET between problems is... I think that can be proven quite powerful.
Well, when you have the possibility of making it so that your problem has 4 power, the fact that you can pay 1 to move him from your own problem to the next one after he's confronted it on his own is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm. Then again, it costs 4 ET. It's such a huge investment.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that's going to kill this card, is the fact it costs 4, because that's a lot.
Yeah, but like, can you really make this cheaper?
No.
Like, for free?
I'm just saying, if it doesn't get played, it's because they didn't push it and make it a 2 for 2, and then you're like, oh god.
No, yeah, I don't think we.
I don't want that trigger on a 2 for 2.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next card.
Sonambula.
I always loved ballooniclers. And this is basically ballooniclers on a friend.
Well, it's a variation of, because the binoculars, because I can't be bothered saying its actual name because I get tongue-tied, gives you power counters sometimes, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, then they draw a friend, you get a power counter, and when they draw an event, you draw a card.
Whereas with this, you pick what you draw cards on, and then you only get to draw cards.
Which is great, I think, like against aggro name friends and against proper control name events, and you just draw a card pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it seems pretty strong. Don't know what her expression here has to do with her effects, but, you know.
Yeah. And the hand reveal, like,
yes.
I love hand reveal.
So I see you're going to make this play. Yes. Cool.
And, like, if... I know you like to play white pink, and I think with Soprano this can get really good. Because you know when you want to play Soprano. And they draw a card, so you might draw a card as well if it's the type. If it has the same type.
Yeah.
And it's not too expensive, like 3 T isn't that much.
Not too bad. If it was a 2 for 2, I'd be like, oh my gosh, just playing everything, yes. But I still feel like a deck needs to be able to sort of get this out and know that they're going to get something from it. Because if this gets removed, it's like, no.
Yeah, but if it gets removed, like, you'll see it coming at least.
Oh, hey, look, that thing is coming for my face.
Oh, I place an Ambula. Oh, you have belly flop on you.
Bye, Sinambula. I find it weird, though, that her effect is like the opposite of being blindfolded.
Yeah.
I thought they might try to put, like, when you're playing this card, you're never making a leap of faith because you know exactly what your opponent's doing. It's kind of strange, flavor-wise. But yeah, next card?
Yep. Cadence, our second tricolor.
Second 3-color card. Your opponent you may pay 1 less to play friends to a minimum of 1. It's a good start. Your opponents play +2 to play events.
Mimics on a friend.
And when an opponent plays a card, you may draw a card.
And this is seems quite strong to me, like, oh, everything you play draws me a card.
I also like with this one, it's very obvious to go down a list and say which color gave it which ability. It's blue because it's a cloud chaser for every friend. It's white because it taxes events. And it's pink because it draws cards. Could you do that with Twilight? She had 3 abilities. Trying to remind myself.
Yeah, I mean, Violet
yeah, I
has
guess
the
so. I guess so.
Giving
There's
power?
the +2 power, which is yellow. Can't be frightened is orange.
Orange, yes.
And then blinking things out, I guess, is orange purple-ish because it's specifically to prevent
It's
removal.
purple, like Portal, Luna's Future. So yeah.
But because it's so specifically to save things, it's kind of orange at the same time. But this one is like so cut and dry. This one is this color. Just kind of made me laugh. Yeah, it seems really strong though. Then again, like I don't think any of the big 3-color cards have been bad.
Yeah, it's also quite costly, but it's white. Just play it for free instead
Yeah.
of paying 5.
Cheat this out. Ha! Now yours always costs 5. Yeah, like it seems nice, and the fact that you are playing colors that can bring this back for 3 action tokens instead of paying 5 for it is nice. And I fear for a deck that's just designed around bringing this and Bluna back, because a board of this and Bluna seems pretty annoying.
Bluna?
Not Bluna. 3-color Luna.
Oh, Midnight.
Yes. My instinct instead replaces the L, just the L at the start with BL, because I've said Bluna so many times.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, a deck that brings back 3-color Bluna and 3-color Cadence sounds terrifying if they achieve it.
Of course she can be removed, but it's gonna cost quite a bit. And if you have mimics as well, it's just like, oh, have fun playing events.
I like to think of the situation where you have Cadence and 2 mimics, and you can just name every card type other than friend.
And then just play like Spoony and other things, just like tax them on friends other way.
Seems like it'd be a silly deck.
Yeah, taxes.
Gotta pay the princess, or whatever. I don't know.
Government type of deck.
But yeah, I think we've said pretty much what can be said about this.
Yeah.
The fact it quote unquote costs 3 action tokens is probably the most scary part about it.
Mm-hmm. And if they remove it, since you're playing white, you're still getting it back for 3 action tokens.
They have to like really get rid of it.
Okay, we have 2 more cards which haven't been seen before.
Woo!
We'll start with Smolder. It's our new main, orange one.
A confront to flip one.
Yeah, I
Not an
think
ultra
there
rare
will
one.
be confront to flip, but I'm not sure.
I was saying not an ultra rare one.
Yeah.
So, you know what it does. When you confront this card's problem, turn it over. But on its flip side, at the start of a face-off, you may exhaust this card to have an opponent discard a card. If they do, one of your cards involved in the face-off gets plus X power, where X is the discarded card's power. Oh yeah, it's until the end of the face-off, sorry. Skip that bit. It's not just an eternal plus X. That would be whole. Who?
So, each time a face-off is started for any reason, your opponent discards a card.
Well, you may exhaust it to discard a card. If you start
Yeah.
a Troublemaker face-off, but you really need it to help you beat the Troublemaker, you're not going to make them discard the card, I guess. But, like, in most cases, yes.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty great. Discarding cards is always feels awful.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like if you can make a deck where you have an excuse to exhaust this card once every turn cycle, it can get really bad for your opponent.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like...
I just thought,
Yeah?
it kind of turns every Troublemaker you control into a yellow power sprite. It discard a card.
I mean, they have to challenge it, but yeah.
I said a kinda.
Yeah. It's nice to have, like, Mimic's power sprite.
Yes. Yes, pay 20 for your event. Also, if you confront it, discard a card.
And they will probably discard events, which have quite a bit of power.
Yeah.
Not that it's relevant for... Oh wait, it says one of your cards, not characters, so yeah. Go ahead, discard events. My Mimics will get like +5, +6.
So if like Dragon Troublemaker Control as a deck, I feel like this could be the main for it. Just because you'd play purple orange, which seems to be where the dragons are lying at this point. And then every time they try to confront your Troublemakers, you're like, cool, discard. And I'll pump it.
Yep. Yeah, I think like this is exactly the card that really helps an orange Troublemaker control. Like, obviously it is helpful for other face-offs other than Troublemaker face-offs, and like the effect is great in general, but I think it's especially great in Troublemaker control.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason it says cards, not characters.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, I think it is a really, really cool main. I will try to play with it.
Yes.
I think it's really fun to build around.
And I feel like one of the things that could be the death of it is the fact that you have to confront.
Yeah, but we'll have Viking lessons plans. That helps a little bit.
Yeah. So, the last card.
Yep.
Another unique. Unique. Okay, yeah, I'll say that.
Yak.
Yak!
Smash.
Smash Troublemaker away for now. Go away! So yeah, 3 for 3, 1 requirement. When it enters play, you may turn a Troublemaker face down. Ta-da!
Splash attack on a friend.
Part of me just wishes this was a 2 for 2. A little part of me. Because I'm like, if it just costs 2, it'd be so easy to just slam it down and be like, cool, I can confront this now. The 3 is one of those ones where it's like,
Yeah, it's like not as expensive as 4, but not as cheap as 2.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
And it's like, there's so many times where I've been like, man, if this 3-cost thing just cost 2, I could do this big play. but I can't.
Oh yeah, you're always missing 180. Like
It's
you're
just like,
always one decision.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
180 difference is a really big one.
Oh. So yeah, I think this is good. If it'll see play is a meta question, and if it's good enough in that meta is entirely over my head because I can't see the future.
Well, the problem is that it turns the troublemaker face down, so it's like a soft removal for the troublemaker because it gets back next turn. Unlike the other things that yellow provides, like ignoring the troublemaker completely or dismissing it.
But the thing is with dilemmas, it's like, cool, I'll get this double confront off, and then next time I'll just be like, play this dilemma and confront those two
Yeah.
and stuff, is what I feel like could make it so that this card is just fine. And because my brain misread it, the fact it doesn't say here is nice.
Yeah.
Because my brain is hardwired to the old cards that pretty much always said here. So you could be like, well, I'm already confronting that, and then I need 3 power on this problem, so I'll just play Yuna and turn that face down and jump his face off. But I don't feel like you ever play this in a scenario where you're not causing a face-off of some kind, a problem face-off of some kind, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like if you're just playing it for one confront, I don't think it's really worth it.
Yeah, because
kind of wasting
like,
the effect.
Yeah, you're playing this to get like an extra 2 to 3 points that you wouldn't have got that turn.
Unless you really need that 15th point.
unless you just need to get point number 15. Oof. So is that all?
Yeah, that's all the spoilers we've had so far, which is 28, I believe. I mean, the ones that we reviewed today.
Yeah.
Like, any thoughts like on the spoilers overall?
I am liking spoilers so far. I have no idea what this is going to do to the sort of metagame and how it's going to change because of it.
Yeah, but it's hard to say before we see the entire set.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something really crazy awaits us. I want to see more purple cards, but the ones we've got so far, they're quite nice.
I'm wondering what random colorless cards they might put in. I'm always kind of intrigued to see what they do with colorless.
Probably some kind of entry, because that seems to be the trend.
What they do with it now?
Yeah.
I miss the style in Absolute Discord where they went, let's mess with the rules.
Yeah, Absolute
That was
Discord
just like
a very fun set
so
overall.
Cool. That was like super cool.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some of that in the future, but I don't think it'll be in this set, no.
Nah,
doesn't seem
not.
like it.
So if we are done,
yeah,
I guess it is goodbye for now. The next stream is on the 9th of December, and unfortunately Kirst still won't be able to make it by then.
But it will be after pre-release.
Ooh. So we'll probably go over the last of spoiler season and maybe say some cards that caught our eye from what's obviously out and about by then. And then, obviously, after that, it'll be full set review time. The stream after that one. Whew.
After the set's release.
Yes. But yes, looking forward to seeing you all next time. Thanks for coming to the stream. I've been solving problems. Oh, wait. The episode will be uploaded to the YouTube. I'm trying to remember all the things Kerr says before the end of the stream. He says so many like little bits. I think I've got them all. So YouTube channel, Meticulous Talks has a YouTube channel, and the stream archives are all uploaded there. It should be up in like an hour or so. Is it, Hithrock?
I don't know. I don't put them, so.
Ah.
I think Cursed will have to do it, so...
So maybe it won't happen for a while.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Well, in any event, I have been Hifrock.
And I've been solving problems.
Bye.
See you in a fortnight.
Yeah, see ya.